Welcome to another episode of the Real Bar Podcast, bringing you the realest updates on everything from working out, healthy lifestyles, day-to-day struggles, and life experiences. This is the Real Bar Podcast.
We're live. All right, Mace. Episode 3. Here we are.
We're back, man. I can't believe it's going the way it is. We still got a lot of people supporting us, whether they're listening because we're pushing it on them or listening because they want to. We have a lot of support between our 3 platforms, which are Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. We also have a Twitter and Instagram, but 3 platforms where we actually put the video out and the audio out. We have a lot of people listening.
A lot of good feedback, too. I mean, we've had people reach out and, send almost novel-esque type emails and texts and stuff like that. So,
crazy.
So that's really cool that people take their time to do that. And I appreciate it. I know we appreciate it.
For sure. And I like that we're starting to get the more critical feedback, not just the keep it up. I mean, I love the support and the motivation and the positive stuff. But I also like when people are harsh and say, hey, this could be better. This could be better. You could do this. That's what increases the production every week. That's what makes us improve, is when people tell us something we're doing wrong or something they think we could do better.
I mean, and that's what helps us learn and grow. We want to get better. So all of that helps us.
For sure.
So, I mean, to kind of jump right into, how does your week go? Workout-wise, just in general, let me know.
Word. First time in 4 weeks, I'm proud to say, best possible week I could have had. Definitely could get better, but didn't break my diet once. Worked out 5 days this week, which is not the first time I've done that, but it's the first time I've done it and kept my diet.
Right.
No 11 o'clock Burger King. No anything. No fast food, no junk food. I crushed my workouts this week. I got a new Peloton bike.
Peloton bikes are sick. I just said bites.
Yeah.
Those are sick. I've only heard good things about them. I would love to try it.
No, dude, it's awesome. Some of the toughest workouts I've done, and I've only done 3, I think. I just got it Wednesday, so I think I've gotten 3 rides in. The installation process was a little not my favorite, but I can't put that on Peloton because they have an external outsourced company, a contractor almost, who comes in and does that for them. So those weren't my favorite people. I kind of had to do more work than I wanted to. I just wanted to.
When you pay what you're paying for those Peloton bikes, you think, okay, make sure you get the installation part.
I thought I was coming home from work and riding the bike.
Right.
I didn't think I was putting the pedals on it. I was like, bro, the screen wasn't hooked up. I was like, dude, 90% of the bike is the screen. Yeah, what do you mean? But it had something to do with the cold weather. It had to warm up. And I do know about technology and LED screens, so that's true. But overall, my week, I literally crushed it. Had a great workout, probably my best workout in a year and a half, besides one with Tyler. My best workout in so long was with you and my buddy from work, Ross, who I just got to know him very well in the past couple months, and we did a cardio workout in my garage.
That workout, man. I know. I was looking at you with my hands on my knees sometimes, just man, he wrote this workout. He's trying to kill me, or he thinks I'm in better shape than I am. And
I think I'm gassed. I'm known for that, man. I'm infamous for people kind of let me write the workouts, which I still don't know why. But I'll write up a workout that I know I can't do. I'll write it up for the old me, or someone who I know can get it done, like Joey Fashaw.
Or you assume they can do it.
Yeah, crazy stuff that I'm like, oh dude, I used to do this, I could do this. We'll get through it. And then 2 exercises in, literally our first exercise this time, I was gassed, bro. I was like, no way.
Well, I think after we did the first station, whenever we did wall sits, I'm just I'm looking at you, I'm like, if I fall down, sit down, I'm not getting back up. I can't do it.
Your legs are gonna collapse.
Yeah. So, but overall, afterwards, I felt great. I felt accomplished. It was productive. It was in the morning for the most part when we got it done, right?
Yeah. It was before noon. We did it 10:30 to 11:30. It was an hour workout. Mathematically, because it was a station workout, so everything was 30 seconds apiece. It should have only took us, I think, 26 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
It took an hour.
Yeah.
but
that'll get better.
We still crushed it, man.
Yeah.
I know I struggled through things. I took breaks. I modified exercises. But as far as a complete cardio workout with heart rate up, sweat, we crushed that. That was a great workout.
And the positivity was there. I'm all about energy.
For
so
sure.
We were all get on it, do this, being positive, reinforcing each other.
Yeah, but
and I love that.
Between us actually physically talking to each other and the music bumping, it was just a different atmosphere, which I liked it. It was a lot different than anything you can get going into a gym with just one workout partner and headphones,
And I want to hit on, you said it was your best week yet. So have you done a weigh-in or anything like that to kind of check in on what your status is?
Wow. Yeah. Another thing I would say proud because where I am today, I weighed myself 2 weeks ago, I believe, and I was about 250, 251, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And it could have been some water weight. I usually do it in the morning because I like to stay consistent.
Yeah, that's what I try to do too.
251 was the highest weight I've ever seen on the scale.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think I told the podcast this. So that was my weight about 2 weeks ago. I weighed in yesterday morning before the workout, and this is about 9:30 in the morning. Nothing in my system at all.
Okay.
And the scale said 241.
Man.
So, yeah. So I'm not gonna say I lost 10 pounds because I might not have, but between water weight and different things,
Give or take a few pounds, but you're losing.
I definitely lost a good amount of weight in a short amount of time, and I'm hoping to keep that progress up because a big thing for me is that number. My thing I do and I used to do is I weigh myself once a week because I don't like seeing it every day. Because if you look every day, some days you might gain a pound. You might gain a pound, you might lose 2.
Yeah.
So I don't like doing that. But I always like to maybe do it on a Sunday and then the next Sunday. Yeah. And if you did what you needed to do, there should be at least a pound or 2 off of that scale.
You're gonna see a difference.
And that's what I like. So not doing it for 2 weeks.
That's awesome.
No, I appreciate that. Not doing that for 2 weeks and then seeing that.
Yeah.
That really, and then having a great workout. Like I had a smile on my face.
But it reinforces you moving forward now.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, I'm doing this.
Keep the train going, yeah.
Now the addiction kind of kicks in where it's like, okay, now I got to get this workout and I got to do it, but you're enjoying it more. Because that's what I felt. Like when I see progress or any type of gain, I'm like, all right, now I've really got to like step it up a little more and keep going on it.
And it's like, it's a different kind of progress, but it's still good. Like for me right now, like weight loss is progress. Back in the day, like my progress used to be like, oh, I want my abs to come out, or like I want my pecs to be rounded so they look good in a shirt, or like I want that V, like that kind of shit, which is like, it's nowhere near where I'm at today, but progress is progress. And I mean, that's awesome. I felt great looking at that on the scale.
Yeah. And just to give a quick recap of me too. So I weighed myself. And like I said, I kind of started at the end of January. I was around, 196 or 198 that I didn't like my weight at.
Yep.
So right now I weighed myself the other day and I'm at 182, 183.
Wow.
So I'm kind of right at where my goal.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't your goal 185 or something?
It was like between 180, 185. I didn't like where I was at 198, 196, and I'm kind of at my goal weight wise. So now I'm just like, I mean, I could probably lose a few more, pounds and maybe still be okay. Like maybe 175, 180, but I've kind of hit that weight goal, and my weights are going up that I'm pushing up. I'm having better workouts, and I feel overall better. Like we're doing this podcast, we're keeping the accountability aspect between us. Energy's high, even when we're not seeing each other throughout the week. Like the texting and the encouragements and saying like what we can and can't do better.
My daily phone calls, man.
Yeah, the daily phone calls. So everything has kind of there's been a progress with everything. It's like weight loss, the workouts, the just overall positive energy, going to work, from work, things like that. I see those differences.
So how was like your week overall? I know you said like the last 2 months you hit your goal of like weight, but how was like this week, like your third week podcast wise and workout wise?
Yeah, no, workout wise, I would say it was probably my best weightlifting. Where I was at in January, deciding to come back and, want to get to where I was. I think I'm finally getting to where I was, like when I was at not my peak, but my best at my lifts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm finally starting to see that progress, like getting back to what I was kind of lifting. And it's encouraging because
for sure,
going into the gym when you've put on weight and you haven't been in the gym and you've been eating wrong, but where you've been before.
Yep.
To me, that was the hardest phase to work through. Was getting back into the gym and knowing like, man, I was able to put more weight on during this exercise and I can't do it now. I'm getting more tired doing this than I did. So that was discouraging, but now I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, okay, I'm kind of getting back to where I was. Now I want to start continuing and make progress even further than I was before. So weightlifting wise, it was great. That workout yesterday with you, man, I mean, energy was high, but
awesome. Man,
I wanted to kill you when we got to like station 2 or 3.
Yeah,
I was gassed. I'm looking at you, I'm like, you really had to put these types of exercises together, like, come on.
It was tough,
but I felt good after. I felt accomplished. I got my morning started. It got me up, and I felt rejuvenated for the day. So the other thing, it's like Christmas for me right now because it's March Madness.
Oh man, you love anything to do with college sports because you have every hat in the game, dude.
I got every team. I'm a fan of college basketball.
You're a fan of whoever wins college basketball.
Well, that's a fact too.
Yeah.
I can't even deny that. But did you do a bracket? Did you do anything? You following it?
Oh yeah, definitely following it. Between my group chat, who's just a bunch of addicted gamblers, and myself, who likes to toss money here and there, I've been slowing down. I've been doing great, picking games, betting on things, winning a little bit of money here and there. Sad to see that Syracuse lost, but didn't bet on them. Kind of expected it.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
Their
Life of a
point
Cuse fan.
Yeah, their point guard got suspended right before the game started. Still, I don't want to speak on that because I don't know exactly what it was. I saw a couple different rumors, but so that kind of sucked. Not that he was like gonna win them the game, but
he makes a difference at least for that.
He's
First
a ball
round game against
handler.
Baylor.
He's a facilitator, so that was a big loss. But definitely been following it. I think Duke or North Carolina is most likely gonna win the tournament. What about you?
I've got 2 or 3 brackets. Usually every year I'm filling out like 15 different brackets, and I'm saying like, oh, I called this upset, called that. That's because when you got 15 brackets, you can call those upsets.
Yes.
You'll
have something right.
My main 2 brackets, I've got UNC and North Carolina winning it in those 2. And I think like my main Final Four is Duke, Tennessee, UNC, and Gonzaga. That's kind of what I have. And then I've got Duke, UNC clashing in the finals, and UNC winning that one. And then the other one, Duke versus Tennessee, Duke coming out ahead.
Yeah. Ever since like when they were ranked number 1 for like 3 or 4 weeks straight or whatever, I don't think Tennessee is a good basketball team, man. And that's just my opinion. I don't know how they had that spot. I don't know how they kept it for so long. I didn't think they were good, and I still don't today. So I don't see them in the Final Four. But other than that, I agree with the other 3. I think that's how it's gonna end up.
See, I kind of disagree in the sense. I think Tennessee. This is probably one of the better Tennessee teams that we've seen in the last like 5-6 years.
For sure. I don't know. For some reason, maybe that's why I have a stigma around them where I'm like, oh, Tennessee basketball sucks, and now they're good.
Yeah.
But just watching them, I think they not got lucky, but they shouldn't have been able to compete up there for that long. I think they're a middle tier, like 8-10 team. Like I don't think they're a number 1 team in the country for 5 weeks in a row.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens. I think they're in the bracket with Virginia. So you've got Virginia, Oregon, I think up there, and I don't know who else is up there. But
I can't speak on that because I don't have a bracket in front of me.
but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, all it takes is one game, or to get on a good run for 3-4 game stretch. Like that's all you need in this tournament. That's the beauty of the tournament.
For sure.
So
last week, I mean, we talked about me. The whole podcast was literally about me, and I think we knew this moment was coming. I think this is going to be a good little segue because we're already talking about basketball, and I know that's something you kind of used to do. But this episode is going to be about you. It's going to be your story. I'm
already nervous. Like I'm kind of, like that cold spot you get before like a big.
That's what happens when the transition comes.
I'm like, it's uncomfortable. I don't like it.
Speaking of basketball and stuff, where did your journey begin? Because I personally know, which is why I'm asking. It kind of relates into basketball, but where did your whole journey in general begin for sports and fitness, like in general?
Yeah, I would have to say the city of Rome. I mean, they had those programs in the summer where you could do like tennis, basketball. I think they had wiffle ball or tennis. Like there was a bunch of different like programs that you can get into.
Rec sports,
and my mom signed me up. I was like, oh, okay, I'll do the basketball one. And I really fell in love with basketball. So it became a thing where like every year I was doing that. I did tennis too, but I really fell in love with basketball. And it became more of just, it went from, being signed up for a program to, I want to work and get better at this. Like this is fun to me. Like I want to keep playing throughout my years. And it went all the way along, played it modified. And then high school came, I decided I was going to go out for the JV team, and, I had friends on the team. So, one of my good friends throughout high school was Ryan Cook. And his dad was the JV coach.
Oh, so you guaranteed had
guaranteed spot. That's your best friend. You're going to be on the team
for sure.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to try out. Let me do this. Let me get back into it.
Yeah, try out in air quotes.
Yeah,
technically
exactly.
You already made it.
I know. I'm locked.
Yeah.
So we go throughout the tryout phase, and I can't drill with my left hand, but I had a pretty good shot. So the list gets posted for like, who made it. So like basically I'm walking up to the list like, okay, who else is on our team? And I walk up and I'm like, is that a typo? Like my name's not on the list.
Man.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I got cut from JV basketball.
Coach Cook dogged you, man.
I know. I'm like, yo, Ryan. And he's like, I don't know, man. Yeah, sorry. You're definitely better than maybe like one or two of these players. But so that was a lesson right there for me. I'm like, man, I went into a sure thing. Like, maybe I could have worked harder than to try it out. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. So would you say like sports, I mean, I know you said you started young playing rec and stuff like that for the city of Rome. Would you say it's always been like a passion of yours, or is it something you developed? Like, I know a lot of people just get tossed into sports, like their parents sign them up. Like you said, your mom signed you up.
Yeah.
When did you ever develop a passion and like an urge to keep playing and like get involved in it more?
Yeah, so like you said, it kind of
try to keep that like just a little closer to your face.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, so I would say it started with your parents sign you up. They want you to get you out, being active, get involved in stuff. It kind of started out as that, and then I would say once I got to high school. So ironically enough, when I got cut from JV basketball, I went out for indoor track. I was already running outdoor.
Yeah, and
that's when I really started like falling in love with track and like really like buckling down and wanting to work and get better and enjoyed working. So ironically enough, getting cut from JV basketball was the best thing for me when it came to athletics and sports and stuff, because it put me in a position to get to where I was for indoor track and outdoor track and meet the people I did and accomplish the things I did. So ironically enough, that was probably the best thing that could have happened.
So do you think like you said, that's kind of when your passion like developed. Do you think after you got cut is like immediately you're like, all right, bam, I got cut from a team, like track's my shit now? Or was it more like, all right, well, I got cut, I still do run track, like you said, you could do the indoor outdoor now? Was it immediate, or was it more like, now that I have to do this, or like now that I don't have another option, I might as well get good at this? Because I know you're a guy that, like you said, get good at one thing. Yeah. So was it more or less like, okay, now that I don't have another option, I'm gonna get really good at this? Or were you already good and you just became more passionate?
So outdoor, I wasn't sophomore year. I wasn't the best. But I had that passion. So deciding when I wanted to try out for JV basketball or run indoor track, I was kind of going back and forth already with that decision. Yeah. And then went for JV basketball. So I'd say once I started running indoor track and like after the first couple meets, I was like, ooh, I like this. Like, this is, I want to be as good as these people, these juniors and seniors now that I'm seeing, because we would go to Manley Fieldhouse and you're seeing these seniors and juniors running and seeing what they're able to, time-wise run. I'm like, oh, I want to get there. Yeah. And it's kind of funny. I think there's a quote, rejection breeds obsession. So me getting rejected and getting cut from JV basketball and then finding indoor track, I became obsessed with wanting to get to the point that these seniors were by the time my senior year came.
I feel like that quote's like true in a lot of like scenarios. I also think it's a little scary because like if you think of it the other way, like you get rejected by a girl and you become obsessed with her. Like, I'm gonna start pulling up to her house and looking in her windows, man. I got rejected, now I'm obsessed with her.
I'm gonna win her over.
Yeah. But no, I think in your scenario that quote is perfect.
That quote works.
But relationship-wise, please don't use that.
Yeah, let's cut that out.
That's a little bit weird. So speaking of like, because we haven't really dipped into like the personal side, we're kind of still on sports. Do you think? I know you mentioned like you met new friends in track and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you think the majority of your friends and things would have been different depending on if you made that basketball team, or do you think? Because like I didn't know you in high school. We didn't go to high school together. Are your friends today mainly just old athletes, or do you have friends outside of like the athletic kind of like world?
I would say it was thanks to sports that I got to meet the friends and people that I have. If I wasn't involved in any athletics or sports, I don't think I would have the friends I have today. I mean, I wasn't really popular in high school, and for the most part, I kept to myself, but sports kind of helped me break out of that. So, the people I met during track, like those were, my friends, my boys during track. Same thing with, football. So I got to meet people and talk to people that I probably wouldn't have, just walked up to and, put myself out there if it was just like during school and, introduce myself and start talking that way, because I was always kind of reserved and shy anyway. So sports really helped me break out of that mold a little bit.
I think that's cool to hear. And it also kind of like separates me and you, because based on my story last week, I did play sports, but not my whole life consistent. I did take a big break, and I didn't meet my friends through sports. Like, a lot of my friends were athletes, but I wasn't playing at the time, so I think it's cool to see that your interactions kind of came through sporting events and like athletic things, and mine was the other side of the spectrum, like parties, just being funny. Like a lot of people just like me for my personality, sort of thing. So that's cool to see how you can gain different types of friends based on what you're interested in, sort of thing.
No, absolutely. Without sports, I don't think I'd have the friends I had today.
For sure. So I kind of want to hear, just me personally, I don't know if anyone listening gives a shit, but I kind of want to hear about like the personal side of like your journey. So all athletics aside, where do you, because I know I talked about like the high school like hierarchy of social classes, where were you in that? I know you said you weren't popular, but do you think like I said, I came from the bottom to the top, and not to brag, but where do you think you were? Like, could you talk to anyone and everyone? Was there a table at lunch you couldn't sit at? Like, what was that like for you?
Yeah. Oh man. See, that's interesting. This is where like the personal part where you get like you get a little uncomfortable, and like when you go back and look, you might see me like I notice like I'm like grabbing my like finger and like comforting myself type thing. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I wasn't popular in high school. I was kind of shy and reserved, so going out of my way to talk to someone, it probably wasn't that wasn't my strong point. And friends wise, I mean, I didn't have close friends within my graduating class. I either gravitated towards the younger or older. There was really no like that your age type friends, and that still holds true today for the most part. So I would say that's kind of, it was interesting. I mean, sports helped me break out of it, but if it wasn't for sports, I think you'd see a more reserved,
even more than you are. You said you already are reserved.
Yeah, so like even today, like I think today I'm more out of my shell and kind of outgoing than I was back then.
For sure. Another question I kind of touched on it as well in my episode, and I don't know if you had the same kind of feeling about it as I do, but do you consider yourself an athlete, athletic, or both? Like, do you think those words are different like I do, or do you consider them the same word and I'm an athlete? See,
that's interesting, and that was something I thought about when you were answering when we did your segment, and I don't know, I kind of tied both together. Like when I think of an athlete, I think of someone who's competing like in a sport, like team wise or something. Like it's football, it's baseball, not just weightlifting for your own benefit or something like that. Like for me, I would say I'm still an athlete, and I say that like air quotation marks.
Loosely.
Like, slow pitch softball, like flag football, things like that. It's not like
you're a beer league athlete.
Things like that. I mean, I would say they're synonymous to an extent.
Okay, so you don't disagree with me, but you more lean the other direction. I kind of, and it could be a personal thing or a selfish thing where I was never an athlete. I never played sports, but when I got out of high school and like started getting like into the gym and working out and being like more in shape, I started to consider myself very athletic, which I would love to have someone come on, maybe Cook, because me and him used to debate this all the time. I would love to debate it with someone. But the dictionary definitions, which I know me and Cook have looked up before, it kind of puts it in the sports like realm. But for some reason, when I hear those words, it doesn't sit with me well that if you don't play a sport, you can't be athletic. Like, what are you? Just in good shape? Like, I guess, but I mean, things like athletes do, like I consider being athletic is running, jumping, having good cardiovascular, like all that stuff. I think you're athletic.
So for example, I told you that I play flag football. Would you consider someone who plays rec flag football an athlete?
An athlete?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay.
But I would also consider them like that's what I'm saying. So like sports,
and athletic?
Yeah, sports is like athletes. Athletes play sports. And I know this might sound dumb to some people, but I believe athletes play sports. And then there's other people like I keep mentioning them, like Joey Fashaw. If anyone knows him, and sorry if you're listening, Joey, but he's not the most like coordinated or like good at sports. Like he's not that kind of person.
Oh man, calling him out like that.
But it's true, and he knows that. But as far as like being in shape, that dude's like wicked athletic, dude. Like he can run, he can jump, swim, like bike.
He's also a hell of a golfer. So
dude,
put
Joe
him in
used
the athlete
Joe used to be nasty
category
at
right
golf.
there.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't crap on the golfers.
But no, I think they're two different words. So who knows? But I kind of lost our structure up here. But I know some of the questions. Next thing I wanted to ask you is, where did your fitness journey begin? So not your athletic.
Yeah.
Or I'm done with those fucking words. not your sports journey, your fitness journey. So when did you realize, like, okay, like I'm kind of done with sports. I got to get into something else.
Yeah, no, I think you kind of hit on it right there. It was when I was done with college sports and there was no, like high school, like varsity track or, MVCC or, college track and whatever sports it was. Throughout those years, like growing up, I kind of identified as, a track athlete. So once I got out of college and I wasn't doing that anymore, I was like, okay, what do I do now?
So you're saying it was
I
kind of
identified as that.
It was kind of after college. So you went
Yeah.
to college and participated in sporting events and sports, and then when you left, you kind of turned into a NARP, is what they call them, and you were kind of stuck. Like, oh wait, I don't have my sports. Like, what do I do?
Like that team environment aspect, like everybody growing together, competing at meets and stuff like that. Like that was gone. It was what I identified as for so long that I was kind of like I had to find out, like, okay, who am I again? Almost like partially.
And I also had that on my list. Was it hard for you to like change your mindset? Because I know a lot of athletes, people that play sports, like kind of only work out for their sport. Yes. So when you were done with college and like you didn't have to lift or run or stretch for track, did you were you kind of like, why the hell do I need to go to the gym? Like, I'm not working towards anything, so what's the point of doing it?
Exactly. And that I think that was the toughest thing for me, was finding the motivation outside of the sport. So for me, my motivation to do the work and stuff that I was doing for track was because I wanted to be the best. I wanted to compete, and I wanted to achieve certain goals I had set for track. Yeah. Once that was done, I'm like, okay, I don't have to do, these stretches, these exercises. I don't have to get up in the morning and, run, 3 or 4 times 400s. So finding motivation to stay active and stay in shape, that was tough after sports. And I don't know if anybody else listening has that same issue, you know? But I did.
I think, and the reason I wrote that, and I don't know any names off the top of my head, but I do think I've heard people say that before, and I can't relate because that's not something I'm, like, I just don't relate to that. Like, I didn't play sports my whole life, so, like, I didn't have to say, oh, I'm not working out for blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I'm not going to work out. But I do think, and I do think the names are coming to me, I think Tyler Nicholas, my buddy, Mike Jensen, like, a lot of hockey players who, like, hockey's wicked intensive. Like, it's a sport where you're only on the ice for, like, sometimes less than a minute at a time, because it's just get in, put your 100% effort in, and then get out, take a break, come back. So I think both of them have told me it was hard for them to kind of stay back in shape or want to go to the gym, because they didn't have to do those hockey workouts, those squats, those deadlifts, like agility training. They didn't have to do any of that, and they were like, so what's the point like a lot of people don't think I'm just doing it for myself, for my health, for like my physical physique, like fitness. They think if you're not doing it for a reason, there's no reason to do it. And that's kind of, you know what I mean?
And well, it's funny too. So I was decent at track, but I wasn't good in the weight room. But because of how I was able to run and stuff, it compensated how I felt about myself in the weight room. So once I was done with track, and I had, I decided, I had to work out and keep in shape and find ways to do that. And I got in the weight room, and it was strictly just like weight room workouts. I was so intimidated, like going in there and seeing guys on the bench press and have 2 plates on each side. And I'm like, man, I've got to put only 25s on each side. There were times I walked into the weight room and I just kind of walked out, because I was so intimidated that I'm like, I can't be in here with these guys. Like, I got to find times where like it's dead, because I was too self-conscious. And that was something I really had to work, towards too, getting better at, was not caring and not being self-conscious.
Yeah, I kind of talked about that too for mine. Like, and that was recent. Like not that I'm, like I said, I'm never like self-conscious about like my body, like looking a certain way, but I was very self-conscious about going into the gym and like seeing the people I used to lift with and having them be like far beyond me. And it's like, it's not like I can just go, yo, can I lift with you guys? because it's not anymore. It's like I have to change the weights. Like I can't keep up with the level of exercise you're doing. That's where like my self-conscious like sort of came in, and I can relate to what you're saying is like wanting to go at a time where there's not a lot of people there, or maybe I'll get a membership at Planet Fitness because it's 24/7, and if I go at 5 a.m, I won't see anybody and stuff like that.
And those were things I was thinking of. I mean, all of my friends, like even if I wanted to be like, hey, like do you want to get a workout in, like seeing the weight they were putting on, I'm like, man, this stinks, and I got self-conscious about it. Sure. And it took a while for me to realize, stop comparing yourself to your friends and other people in the weight room. You need to make the progress for yourself. And if it means you're only putting on whatever the weight is, and some other guy looks like he's competing for, Mr. Olympia, you don't compare yourself. You make progress according to your own chart.
Yeah. A big thing is, I agree. Comparing yourself can be very unhealthy, but it also can be healthy if you do it in a reasonable fashion. So I definitely compare myself to everyone, but not like, fuck, dude, look at this kid, look at me, like I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's more of like a motivation thing. Even back when I was in shape, like, and I considered myself like in the top, like I said, like a pretty decent shape. Like I could hang with the best of them for this local area.
Right.
I would look at the next biggest guy and be like, all right, that's next. That's where I'm getting.
And there's a fine line with that, between motivation and being self-conscious and having it prevent you from actually doing it.
Yeah.
So like if you're in that mindset and it's not motivational, and you're like, okay, I don't want to do it because I'm scared and because I'm going to look a certain way to these guys and people are going to make fun of me or anything like that. I think there's a fine line between that. And I'd be curious to see if anybody that's listening felt that same way at some point or currently does right now. Because I know how I felt, and it was one of the more uncomfortable feelings I've ever had.
Another question. This is kind of a little deeper than the ones we've been on. Has there ever been a time in your life where playing a sport or being involved in like fitness has allowed you to cope with something that's gone on in your personal life?
Yeah, I mean, without getting into too deep. Weightlifting and just being involved in different sports. So I mean, more so weightlifting now, like sports. That was way back when at this point in my life, competing for a team. But yeah, no, like going into the gym and you have whether it's a bad week or a bad day or bad month at work or you've got family issues.
Yep.
Relationship issues. Those are things that help motivate me in the gym, where it's like that's my outlet, because for me it's kind of hard for me to open up and talk to feel better. So for me, I'll go by myself and working out. It gets it out. Like I don't have to talk. You don't have to think. I tend to overthink on certain things when it comes to like coping. So for me, the gym is pretty straightforward. It's you, the bar, the weights, and that's it. That's it. Like you're in your own world there, and you don't have to worry about thinking too much about expressing yourself or trying to talk to someone and express how you feel. Like to me, that's uncomfortable. The gym, that's how I would generally cope.
Yeah, and it's like not to like promote or anything, but like it's like Planet Fitness says, and not that I agree with all their like whatever sayings, but judgment-free zone. Like when you go in the gym, there are those douchebags, there are those people who think they're better than you. But dude, I'm telling you, like 95% of the gyms I've ever been to, and I've been to a good amount, dude, no one cares. Everyone's there to help you get better. Everyone knows they're in there for a reason. Like there could be someone that's 400 pounds. There could be someone that's shredded and competing in a physique competition. Everyone's there to better themselves. Yeah. So it really is just a wicked inviting area, and people have a mindset going in that, oh my God, everyone's staring at me. I'm
exactly.
being judged.
And that was my mindset. And once I got in there and started feeling a little more comfortable, you start realizing like everybody's in there because they want to better themselves. Yeah. But they're also positive. Like I said before, like I'm big on energy and being positive and trying to spread that positivity. Sure. So once I started getting in there, like those people at the gym kind of became what my teammates were in high school for track. Like the social aspect and pushing each other. I kind of started to get that aspect back,
And I kind of brought that out when I said I went to college and I missed my boys from home that I worked out with. So it wasn't like a team, but like you said, it kind of like your teammates. Yeah. Like Joey and Zach, like people at the gym, those are like my team.
That's
like
your squad.
Those are the people that pump me up. Like I looked forward, like we all had different jobs, different shit during the day. I look forward to seeing them every day. And I got to Cortland and like I missed that team. You need that, and that's what they are to you.
Exactly.
It's a really good comparison that I never thought of. That is your team, man. They're your boys who inspire you, whether it's boys, girls. They inspire you, they pick you up, they want you to do exactly what they're doing. Like you have a common interest, and you're all there for the same reason. It's like you want to win a championship. We're all here to get healthier and look better. Yeah. So they pick you up, and that's awesome. I like that you brought that out.
Yeah, and that aspect's important to me. Like of all my friends that are in there that you can say like, you know, your team or stuff. Yeah. I mean, they all lift more than me, but they're so receptive to me going over there and being like, hey, like, you know, I've only been deadlifting for, you know, whatever a year. I'm still not comfortable with it. Can you come watch my form and like critique me and help me out? And you to name drop, you know, like Zach Johnson and Joey, like those guys. Yeah, Zach Shabloom. You know, those guys, they'll come over there, they'll sit there and they'll take time out of their workout to show me like, hey, you can do this better, or like, listen, like you're fine, like you don't have to worry as much as you are, like you're doing the right things. And those are things I appreciate.
For sure.
Yeah.
That was cool. Another thing, just to not to take from your story.
No, yeah.
Just to give a little experience, I haven't talked to Joey or Zach or any of them that we keep talking about in probably a good 8 months, I'd say. Yeah. And I went to Applebee's the other night. Pat on the back for myself. I only got water, but swear to God. But
I'm surprised.
I saw them all there. Literally, everyone I used to work out with. The whole, like, you know what it is, the 4:30 time span where you get there at 4:30 and you see the whole city.
Dude, it's rush hour.
Dude, they were all
for the weight room
at Applebee's. I was there for about a half hour, and I didn't see him. And then they walked from the bathroom, and like we made eye contact, and I was like, kind of like, not like to be weird, but like my stomach kind of dropped. Like, it's like I said, I pride myself on being able to like have like relationships that I can rekindle. Right. But as far as like seeing them face to face, dude, I haven't seen them in so long. And that was my team. Yeah. The people I used to work out with, like try to look like be in shape, and I was like, damn, man, they're gonna see me just sitting at the bar at Applebee, and not that they cared. Right. They came over and we shot the shit, we chopped it up, but it was just weird for me for a split second. I was like, man, like that really put it into perspective for me. That like my boys were there, my old team was there, and it just wasn't the same. But after I started talking to them, like I said, it was normal. Right. But it was very quick to jump back into kind of like where you were. Yeah, just seeing them kind of like put my whole fitness journey into perspective. So I just wanted to bring that out. I didn't want to take from you. No,
that's a good point. It's all relevant.
For sure. The next thing I have for you, not that I want to like grill you with interview questions, but we're getting closer to the speed round, and I just want to reiterate. It's when I say speed round.
If I could tell you like how my heart just felt when you said we're getting closer to the speed round, it's like
it's not that bad, honestly. When I say speed round, I don't mean you have to fucking snap these answers off. Right. I more or less type these questions really fast. They kind of came easy to me. Some of them are deeper than others. Some are just, you could probably answer them in a quick sentence. But I definitely want to get into it. So you ready for some questions that might be a little tougher than the earlier ones?
I really don't got an option. So yeah,
and these are coming straight off a list on my phone. So they're all directly from me. Number one, man. What's one quality about yourself that you personally take pride in?
I mean, I would say I like helping people out. That's something. Like if anybody needs something, especially like people close to me, friends or whatever, if they need something, you know, I'll do it. I think that's a quality I pride myself on, is being there for people, whether it's just sitting there and they need to talk. Like I'm not good at opening up, but I'm a very good listener.
Kind of like I said, yeah.
Yeah. So I would say that's one of my qualities. I would say is.
So what would you, not to put it on the spot, what would you label it as? Would you say like dependable, like caring? What kind of like word would you give that? If you had one
I would say caring. Yeah. I would say caring, or like, you know, concerned.
Someone kind of like, are you more the person that would like give the shirt off your back, or are you more just like lend a helping hand or an ear? Like would you do anything for anyone, like no matter how close you are?
You know, and to be honest, I would say, I guess it depends, you know, on the person. I would say for the most part, like if it's something like that, like you said, the example, like give your shirt off your back, I would, but it does depend on the people.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, number two. What's one quality that you have that you think is negative and you would like to improve, or you're actively working on getting better?
Oh, yeah. And I think this is something I've touched on. Communication, in the sense of expressing how I feel.
Yeah.
A lot of times the negative aspect of me is if something's bothering me or, I feel sad or a certain way, I keep it in.
Yeah.
And it'll come out in me just being kind of like silent and, hermitish where I won't talk. Like I have a certain personality now that's usually upbeat. I'm talking a lot and stuff.
Yeah.
So you can tell when I'm just sitting there not talking and not engaging or anything like that.
So yours is a little similar to mine, but also different. So I said I don't show it whatsoever. Like you'll never tell what mood I'm in. Yours is more you do have some like traits that'll come out if you are in a certain state, but it's not as like you're not gonna go cry in front of someone, but you'll be a little quieter, like not as like.
I think the negative aspect of it is I'm very good at wearing the mask of it, like pretending I'm okay, but not being it.
Okay.
And a lot of times I stay in those funks because I don't know the right words to express, or I can't get them out because it feels uncomfortable being vulnerable. Yeah. So I would say that's something I try to work on, but it's tough, man. It's tough when you get in that and you've been that way for so long. Yep. It's tough to break out of that. For sure. Little wins are something that I grab onto when I'm able to improve upon them.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's cool to hear. Number 3 I have. What do you think, and this is putting you on the spot a little bit. I have a couple that are going to put you on the spot. What do you think my best quality is?
Your best quality?
Yeah.
Man, I would say when you put your mind to something, so like doing this podcast with you, when you put your mind to something and you want to do it, you are all for it. Like you're all in, and you're good at motivating someone else to be. Because I know, for me, you've had to do that with me. But seeing your excitement when it comes to working on something, like the excitement you carry on certain things is something I would say is attractive. Yeah. Like it makes me want to be that way. Like it's making that other person better, that aspect.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And for anyone listening, if you don't understand what he's saying, not like gassing myself up, but I'm very passionate about this podcast. Like it's for reasons that I'm not going to get into, but it's something that I'm very, very passionate about, and I hope I can do it for a long time. Yeah. Whether 500 people are listening or 7 people are listening. Yep. I'm very passionate about what we're doing and what we've been able to achieve in such a short amount of time, and that's kind of what he just hit on. Like I have a lot of drive for this right now. Yeah,
and that's something. Like there hasn't been many things that we've done together where I've seen this side of you. So like seeing this is new for me too, and it's cool. So I would say that's my answer to that.
For sure. Next one, you probably knew what's coming. What do you think my worst quality is?
Oh, your worst quality, man.
Anything, be honest.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think you can be pretty cocky sometimes, man.
In what aspects?
Being able to, like you said, you don't want to gas yourself up, but you're able to gas yourself up sometimes. I can't, being on the spot, I can't think of some
like a scenario,
like being on the spot. I just know there's been instances where, okay, maybe you're a bit cocky, or you're more vocal about certain things. Like you don't care. You just say what you're thinking. Yeah. As like when you come to me, I'll generally keep certain things in because I'm like, okay, that's my opinion. I don't need to get into that. But you're just like, I'm going to call you right out. Yeah. Which is good and negative, because we're both different. So I have a different view on it than you do. Yeah. But I would say, you can be cocky.
All right, fair enough. No, I agree with that as well. So I just wanted to hear it. If that's my most negative quality that you think, I'm cool with it.
I think you're doing something right then.
Yeah, if that's the worst thing you could think, that's fine by me. Question number 5, and there's 10 of these. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I just got a text from my boy Ryan New, and he said, "What time's the podcast dropping?" So we'll let him know we're in the process. Yep. Question number 5. And this is honest, do you honestly think this podcast and our fitness journeys are something we will stick to for a long period of time? And if you want to answer them separate, like, we'll stick to fitness longer than the podcast, however you want to answer it. But do you
if we're going to stick to both?
That's how I asked it. Okay. But however you want to answer it is fine.
Fitness, I think so. I mean, I could speak on it for me. I definitely want this to be something that turns into more, like I want to get to the point where I can train other people and help other people out. Same thing with, having more knowledge in nutrition and getting certifications and that. So I do see it being an aspect in my life. I see it being in yours, but I can't speak for you.
For sure.
But as for the podcast, if you would have asked me this probably at the beginning of it, I'd be like, all right, this is going to be a fad. This is going to be like, 4 or 5 weeks. Like, it's a cool idea. Always wanted to do it, but that's it.
Yeah.
Now that we've kind of got more into it, and we're putting more into it, whether it's equipment or ideas and like
Money.
the topics of conversation and just like the preparation for it.
Yeah.
I would hope, and I do think this is something we could do for however long it may be. I mean, whatever you consider long, it's all different to the other person. But I think so. I think this is something that we'll do, especially if we start to see even more on we're helping people. Like, people are getting something from it. Like, that's my biggest motivation, I would say, is helping people and being some type of positivity or giving positivity. And
For sure.
And if we see that happening more and more, I think that's just going to motivate us even more and more.
And that's why the feedback's wicked important. Like, we don't just text you guys or like spam Twitter, Instagram. We don't just do that for like a number. We don't want to view. We don't want to listen. I tell people, if you only listen to 10 minutes or if you want to listen to the whole hour, that's awesome. We literally genuinely want the feedback because we want to know how we're doing. If you could give 2 shits about what we're talking about, that's fine. Everyone's got their own opinion. But if you can just put it in your ears for 5 minutes and just be like, you know what, honestly, you guys got to fucking change it. I would love to hear it.
And it's
I
a
think
help us help you type thing.
Exactly. Maybe we'll change it to direct it towards something you want to talk about.
Exactly.
Like I had I'm not going to call out names, but I had some people in my group chat who fitness isn't their thing.
Right.
And I knew that. And I'm not sure if they listened or not, but a couple of responses were like, hey, I say you just say fuck the fitness and have us come on and talk about sports and gambling. And I'm like, dude, like, maybe you didn't listen.
Right.
This shit is not about fitness. We are definitely going to hit on it every week for sure.
Well,
But
it's about being relatable.
if someone wants to come on here and talk about sports and gambling, oh my God, I'll do it for 2 hours. I love sports and gambling. Like, so whether they listen or not, we tailor these episodes towards being relatable to different people, and the guests that are going to come on, it's going to be tailored towards them.
And just everyday life. I mean, that's what we want to hit on.
Exactly.
Is like, when we started this, we're 2 average dudes.
Yeah.
We're not pretending to be something we're not. We're not going to say, hey, we're this athletic trainer, our workout's better, this and that, or any aspects. It's we're learning as we go.
For sure.
And we're hoping whatever phase we're at, it helps other people, and they can help us.
Yeah.
That's my take.
And I feel like we're in a little bit of a rabbit hole. I don't want to dive into pretty much what we already hit on in episode 1.
Yep.
But that was just based on some feedback we got. I'm going to go to question number 6, and it kind of relates.
I can't wait for these to be done.
Hey, we're almost there. Has doing this podcast changed your life in any way, shape, or form over the past weeks?
That's tough. It's tough to say, has it changed my life?
Yeah.
It's added a new aspect to it, I would say. But like I've said, I always want to learn and grow. I never thought I would be doing a podcast like this. And also, when I thought of a podcast, I was literally thinking like how they would have a rock band or something with the little mics.
Yeah.
And you got one computer, you plug it in, and you can talk.
Yep.
That's it. That's what I thought.
That's your vision of it?
Well, that's what I thought it was. I'm like, okay, it's easy. Like something easy like that. But seeing what goes into it, and the equipment and just learning, I mean, it's completely different than what I thought it was going to be.
For sure. Okay, that was a good answer. Number 7 we're into, and this is a question you asked me, and I stole it from you because I liked it, and it put me on the spot. Who are you today?
Oh,
yeah, tough one.
It's funny. I asked you that question, and I've had all this time to prepare for possibly being answered that,
and you didn't even think about it.
Didn't even think about it.
It's a tough one. It took me off guard quick.
So like the who are you?
Yeah.
If someone else were to say that about me, I mean, I would hope they would say, that's someone who's caring, that's someone I can go to, someone who's reliable, if I need them there, like friends, you may not see them all the time, but there's friends that like if you need something or if you're going through a hard time, there's the 1 or 2, like I can go to them even though I haven't talked to them for 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
Because I either trust their judgment or they're good at listening or they're good at advice. That's what I would say I am. I would say I'm good at that aspect of it, and that's who I am. I don't know if this is the right word for it because I have a hard time finding the right words for things sometimes, but like a caretaker-ish type thing.
That's fair enough. I agree to an extent. I think if I ever needed you for something serious, I could definitely count on you. As far as like smaller things, like being here at a certain time or that gets a little off track.
And I struggle with that. Like something simple like today, like be here at 8:30. Like I got here at like 8:40.
Yeah.
You know, like things like that. But like serious things where I know like
Exactly.
you need me, I will be there.
Yeah, and I agree with that. So I think that was a good answer as well. Number 8. So we only got this question and 2 more. Who do you eventually want to be?
You know, there's always that stereotypical, you know, I want to be a better version of myself type answer. You know, gosh, that's tough. I mean, you know, you want to be successful, and everybody's definition of successful is different.
Yeah.
For me, it's if I bring some type of positivity around people. Like if me being around can positively affect, you know, someone's life, or I can help them, and just continue to grow and be that caring person.
Yeah.
I think that's what I want to be. I mean, success and working and all that stuff is great, but I think being there for the people, you know, that matter most to you, you know, matters to me.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Number 9, who or what or however you want to respond to it is your biggest inspiration for life, fitness, whatever you want to relate it to, but just biggest inspiration, reason why you do certain things or are the way you are.
You know, I don't want to give the stereotypical, like, you know, your parents, you know, like I have my mom, my dad that have always been there and been supportive for me. So I kind of want to throw someone else out there that, you know, maybe no one realizes it or they don't realize it.
Yeah.
Or they've had a huge impact on my life. And it stems from high school track. Coach Mays.
Okay.
You know, Coach Mays, like when I first started track for high school, I mean, he wasn't just a track coach.
Yeah.
You know, he taught you the important things, you know, in life. Like just one example, you know, being respectful to your parents. You know, I remember I called my mom up one time to like, hey, you can come get me now. And, you know, I was about to hang up. He goes, are you going to say thank you to your mom? You know, for coming and picking you up from practice? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I didn't say that. You know, but that's something that sticks in my head. It's like, it's not just a track coach. You know, he's teaching you, you know, the man you should be moving forward.
Yeah, and that's why I like having mentors and people that are teachers, but not just teachers. Like, I don't want you to teach me something out of a book or like just teach me what you're supposed to. I want you to teach me stuff that's going to happen in the real world, stuff that's going to like change me later on in life, not how to read out of a textbook or like I want you to teach me life experience stuff, like stuff that's going to help me. And I think that's kind of what you just said.
Yeah, and I mean, he was someone that believed in me. That, you know, there's all different types of coaches, but he was someone who believed in me before, you know, sophomore year when I was too short and I couldn't really jump over the hurdles to the senior year, you know, winning sectionals in the hurdles. You know, like he believed you can achieve what you wanted to with hard work and dedication, and having that person there believing in you and putting in as much effort to get you to be that person that you want to be. Yeah, that's inspiring. Like if I could say, if I could be, you know, anyone in that aspect, I would say, man, if I could be like Coach Mays for someone, that would be that answer right there.
Oh, that's cool. And yeah, shout out to Coach Mays for sure. I want to send him the podcast.
Yeah.
Listen, dude. Last question. This is I don't know if it'll stump you or not. It might. It's just something I kind of wanted to see.
But it's the last question, so
how you would answer. What is one thing that you've always wanted to tell someone or say out loud that you never have?
Oh man.
Yeah. Whether it's something you just wanted to say to a person and you were afraid, or something you just never said out loud because you weren't comfortable, but maybe now like it's different for you and just no one's asked you.
You know, that's tough. Because for me, I'm having a hard time thinking of like a specific scenario, but I know there's been times where like, you know, people may be talking to me about something, and I realize like how hypocritical they're being. Yeah. You know, and like I said, I can't think of an example, but they're over here venting about someone doing something to them. Yeah. But they're doing the same shit. Yeah, you know, and it's like, why are you getting mad when you're not even realizing you're doing the same thing? Like, why aren't you mad at yourself? Like, I think if you're doing that, you can't complain. Like, don't complain about someone else about something that you're doing. Yeah. So I know there's been times where I'm like, I hear someone saying that, and I'm just like, all right.
So
like,
it's kind of just not really something like to a specific person, but it's more or less, you just wish you would have called someone out on their bullshit.
Yeah.
You can't remember who or when, but you've tied your tongue and you wish you would have just told them, like I would have.
Yes.
Like I call people out.
I think I tie my tongue more than, more than I should. More times I sit back, and sometimes I take shit. You know, like I get shit on sometimes because I don't open my mouth about certain things. Like that's where like sometimes I wish I was kind of like you in the sense where you're just like, I don't give a fuck what you're going to say. Like I'm calling you out, like, because this is right. Like, what I'm saying is right.
Yeah.
Like, you need to hear this.
No, it definitely gets me in trouble as well.
That is true too.
It's something that'll never change. Like I speak my mind, and not to be like a dick about it, but it's something I think everyone should do. Like I think people, if someone thinks I'm a piece of shit or I'm a fat slut, tell me. Like I'm not losing any sleep over knowing the truth or knowing your opinion. Like I'd like to hear that, and I think other people are just a little bit too sensitive in that case. Like truth hurts, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's I pride myself on telling people what I think, and if I lose friends over it or whatever, that sucks. It really does.
And that's an aspect I wish I was a little better at being.
For sure.
So that answers that. And you said that was question 10, right?
And that was question 10, dude. So we're done, man. I got nothing else to grill you on.
Man, I can start feeling better through the week now, and like not worrying about what questions he's gonna ask.
For sure. Next episode we'll have a guest. So is there anything I didn't hit on question wise that you knew coming in that you wanted to tell people, or like something you wanted people to know about you that they still don't know?
I think we really hit on more aspects than I probably thought we were going to and wanted to. I mean, like I said, one of the big ones was being relatable to people, whoever may be listening to this, in the sense of being intimidated, trying something new, whether it's, for like weightlifting. Like how I said, I left the gym like twice when I saw certain like people in there lifting certain weights just because of intimidation.
Yeah.
But I think that translates to anything.
For
like
sure.
Trying a sport, going out, even trying a new restaurant because you only eat certain food or something like that. Like not letting intimidation or being scared or anything like that stop you from improving yourself.
Word.
So I think that was the main thing I kind of wanted to convey, that we're all going through it.
Good. Yeah, no, I think I learned, I think I learned a lot of stuff about you that I didn't know, or stuff that I kind of did know but didn't know the backstory on. Hopefully the people that do listen maybe learn something else new from you, which I think will be cool. I think we definitely got the point of the episode of both of them. I think I kind of put myself out there, and so did you. So maybe going forward, these will be a little bit more relatable and people will know who we are. So I think we definitely accomplished our goal of that in both of these episodes. I don't have anything else for you. I think we're good.
Yeah.
I just want to mention a few things. We're going to have this uploaded today, so it's Sunday.
Yep, it's going to be out.
The 24th, it'll be up. We're going to put it on Twitter. We're going to put it on Instagram. We're going to put it on probably both of our personal Snapchats. It'll be on SoundCloud available to listen. It'll be on Spotify available to listen, and we're
really
likely
becoming available on a lot of different platforms, man.
We're just waiting on iTunes. Waiting on iTunes for the response, and I think will be convenient for everyone. So hopefully this will be up on YouTube as well. It worked last time, but people don't know there's a
lot that goes into it, man.
It's tough. So hopefully we'll be up there as well. We'll definitely let you know on all social media platforms. Next week, I believe is the 31st is a Sunday? Yeah. We'll have our first guest.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Dude. Someone else with us talking. Like I love picking people's brain.
It's gonna be awesome.
This is exciting for me.
So from here on out, as long as everything goes as planned, we should have a guest almost. I have them lined up. We have them lined up. We will have a guest almost every single episode, almost for the next 2 to 3 months. So it should be 3 of us here from now on. Like I said, we're definitely gonna plug it and
pay attention to the social media accounts too, right? I mean, Instagram, like we'll be letting you know who the guest is possibly, and maybe a little bit about them, so that you know what to expect on that upcoming episode. And if there's anything that you want to hear us touch on, reach out to us.
Absolutely.
Like this is tailored to you guys just as much as it is to us, I'd say.
And I just want to say, we said it 3 or 4 times, but we really do appreciate everyone who comes and listens to this.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Whether it's for the duration of the whole episode or if it's just for a few minutes, the support from our personal friends as well as people who don't know us has been crazy. So please keep it up.
Agreed.
Let us know if you think we're pushing it too far. Like I said, we're not trying to promote a product. We're not selling anything.
No.
We really do want the feedback personally. So I appreciate everyone who listens, and hopefully you guys keep it up.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. This was great. This is episode 3.
Episode 3, we're done. Thanks for coming to the Real Bar Podcast, and we'll talk to you next week. Everyone
have a good day, guys.